This is the longest driver I've ever hit. I can't wait to see what happens. As you guys can see, we are here at Modern Golf, so we're gonna be getting fit for the brand new 2023 Cobra driver. Let's go take a look, let's see what we got, and let's see how fast we can get.
How come you don't have everything for us before the product's even released, you know? This is bullshit.
I'll hit a couple of drivers first.
I got the air compressor going, so let's get some. All right.
Any first swing over 130 is gonna be a good day. There you go.
So you're hitting that really well. You know, numbers are good, everything looks solid. What would you hope to improve with a new driver? What would you like to see change?
So with my current game setup, I'm pretty much averaging 132 miles an hour, averaging about 195 ball speed. Dispersion rate's pretty good. It's actually spinning a little bit too low for my liking, so with the Aerojet, we're probably looking at trying to crack about 200. If I can crack 200 with game speed on the golf course, then that's gonna be a significant improvement. Anywhere between 5 miles an hour ball speed is going to be the equivalent of 15 to 17 yards of carry in the air, and then whatever the conditions play more often than not on the golf course will dictate if it goes further or it stays there. But 5 miles an hour increase would be astronomical, and hopefully that's what we're going to get.
Well, this is it.
Let's see it.
New Aerojet LS.
So talk to me about it. So what's different from last year's model? What are we looking at as far as specs?
So a couple good things we're carrying over. The hot face on the driver is going to keep the ball speed very consistent across the face.
Okay.
We've got the power bridge across the bottom to just provide a little more ball speed, a little bit more consistency. Carbon crown on the driver, and then new weight distribution, new weight adjustment on the sole. A little bit different positioning than year previous.
Gotcha.
Always working on aerodynamics. Two of the fastest guys in the world working on that with Bryson and Kyle.
Very true.
Third.
Hopefully the third.
That's right. We're going to see what you do with it now. Let's see it. And there's that little climb and spin like we talked about as well. So, you know, getting a little bit up in the air, maybe a hair high for your peak, but keeping the spin down, keeping the flight down, massive carry. Pretty impressive numbers.
Oh, a little toe, okay. Yeah.
All of that's done to create better aerodynamics, right? Absolutely. So if you can now take that driver and you can give it to someone at your speed and say, okay, you're at 133, here's 135.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably. So the fact that I can just like game 200 ball speed is like, is very dramatic.
Yeah, and like I was saying before, I mean, I think the one neat thing, we've adjusted that down to 7.5, which the loft adjustment is getting us in a good spot, but still maybe a bit high. Getting you into, you know, slightly lower lofted head probably just delivers a little more square for you, feels a little more confident, and then you might even squeeze a few more extra miles an hour out of it.
Even when I miss it, it still feels like it's popping, which is really, really good.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's really neat, you know, from the perspective of obviously a little bit high like we talked about and maybe wanting to clean up a little bit of the overall peak trajectory, but adding 8 to 10 yards of carry over your own current gamer driver.
Correct.
With 1.5 miles an hour more clubhead speed than your current driver, but ultimately 5 miles an hour more ball speed.
So let's explain, like, although it might not be significant, people will hear 1.5 is like, oh, that's nothing, but how significant is that?
Well, an extra mile and a half, I mean, that on its own would be about 5 yards. The fact that that's also moving faster, but then producing more compression and more ball speed is why we're starting to see 7, 8 yards of carry overall. And the neat thing is that if we clean that up a little bit with the overall trajectory, as this loft is maybe just a hair high for you, and there's some other options available, we might actually be able to see not only that carry stay in that 5 to 10 yard improvement, but also factor in a little bit more heat when it hits the ground and take that overall distance even a little bit farther. So, with a really, really great dispersion area as well, in the sense of as fast as you're swinging it to keep that thing between the tree lines every time. You made a couple swings where you didn't feel like you caught it perfectly, but you still got really, really great, strong results. Testament to just how consistent that face is as well, and how stable the driver is overall for a low spin product, which usually is the trade-off. If we want low spin, we generally trade off a little bit of stability. Gives us a little more spray when we don't hit it solid. Ball go far.